Alright, welcome back to another AudZone video, and today I want to show you how to edit templates for reports and for notes. Now, templates are basically the things that use the transcript, so every single word that was recorded in the appointment, the template determines what out of that transcript is going to be used in the note and how it is displayed. So here you see an HSP aided client review template, for example, with very basic formatting, and it is using paragraph form and sentence form here. But that could be changed to bullet points, for example, and how these things are written. All of that can be fully customized. So it really pays to, number one, define for you and for your company what you want to achieve with the notes and how they should be formatted. And then number two, set some time aside and actually do the work and create these templates or review those templates. All right. So let's get stuck into it. So firstly, we go to settings on the left-hand side here. Then we see the templates. Under the templates, you have appointment types, meeting types, then the templates, checklists, and compliance. So right now we want to go to templates, where we will have note templates, and you see that up here all the types. You've got note templates, document type templates, and then templates for fillable PDF and for meeting notes. So before we edit any of them, I just wanted to show you how they are assigned. So you would go to appointment types, for example, and you see, for example, let's go to the earwax removal, and you see on this side here that the clinical note template has been assigned, a document template, a checklist, and a compliance template has been assigned. Now we focus on the clinical note template at the moment, and you see here it is earwax removal that is assigned to this appointment, which will then be auto-generated once you've stopped the recording. So this is now, let's say, what we want to edit. So we go back to templates, and we go to the earwax removal template, and then we see here the template editor. You also have some settings that you can alter for this particular template, and you see a version history of when things have been changed, and you can restore them. So in here, just want to give you a quick overview. This is heading number 1. This one is heading number 2. And these blue funny little looking things, they are what we call variables. And you can control what the variable records. So essentially, if you hover over it and then press Alt on the keyboard and click, you can give it an instruction here of what it should be listening for. You can write things in such as use bullet points instead of paragraphs, and be specific but not too specific what you want to have recorded here. So in this case, it should be the pre-procedure results for the otoscopy, right? Now, a couple of things to mention. The template would omit this entire line, so it would get rid in the note of this entire line if an otoscopy hasn't been mentioned. With for a wax removal, obviously wouldn't be great. But if you say, no, I want my note to always show otoscopy as a bullet point, so to speak, and then it should rather say not performed, then in that case you need to make the variable a required variable. So again, you Alt and click, and then you say this is a required field. So now, even though you do not perform an otoscopy, for example, the note will still say otoscopy, and then you can enter a default value where you could say, for example, not discussed or not required, for example. This is what you can do with these variables. Now, to edit them again, Alt and click. You can also create new variables, for example. So let's say you want to create a variable that's called complications. And so you first create the bullet point, complications. You make that bold, for example, just that it's consistent, bold. And then you create two of these funny brackets, the brackets opening, and then you say complications, close it, and now you've created the variable. You Alt click, and then you basically want to write in here, list here all reported complications, if any. Now you don't want to make that a required field, because it will then only do it if complications have been done, and you save the changes, and then in the note template that will show up. This is the first way how you can edit a template, in this case for wax removal. Let's say you don't have any templates for a new appointment type, for example. Then what you can do is you can create one with AI. or you can import an existing template, for example, that will then be converted into an AudZone template. Let's go ahead, create one with AI. So we click AI, we say it's a clinical note, we say next, so you select an appointment type. In this case, let's just create a note for a private client review appointment. You say next. It basically already takes the template note for private client review, and then you write in here what you want the template to do. So you could write in here, create a client review template with a few sections, clinical results, interventions, recommendations. Now, if you make a typo like here, that actually doesn't matter. You just press go ahead. You don't normally need to assign compliance requirements. That's mostly used for HSP. And you say generate the template, wait a little while, and now the template is ready. So let's have a quick look. We view the template. We see here the appointment overview, the date and the context, what the client reported subjectively, what the clinical results were, what the recommendations are, and so on. And now you could go in here and say, we want to edit that. Because what would happen here now, it basically says, oh, all clinical results are in one section. And if you don't want that, you can create subsections. You could, for example, say, no, I want otoscopy, I want tympanometry, I want audiometry, and for example, speech testing. Okay, so you want to create those. Again, you can tidy them up if you wanted to. Put your columns in there, and then you can make them all bold, for example. And then you can create the brackets, otoscopy, and then you could give it instructions, for example, right? All right. Now in this case, you continue doing that, but we need to get rid of this variable here because otherwise it lists all clinical results up here and then the individual ones. So we don't want this in this case. Let's get rid of that, and then we continue doing that. If you, for example, say, but I want otoscopy left and I want otoscopy right, then what you would do is you would split that up into otoscopy left and right. But then you also need to make the variables as such. So underscore left, and then we do here underscore right. And then we give instructions to these variables. List otoscopy results for left ear only. Save that, go to the right one, Alt click, paste that in here. The right ear only, and then it will basically obey these instructions in your note. Now you can continue doing all of those things, and then you will see that in your note. I always recommend give it a week or two, work with a couple of clients, see how the notes turn out, speak to your team that you have a consistent note format, and create the notes and the templates like that. It's always recommended. Spend a little bit of time on that. Did you get it spot on? AudZone is very flexible, but it does require you to set them up properly. If you need any help with it, please let us know. Okay, I want to show you quickly how you can import an existing note template. And this is going to be an interesting exercise. I've dug out a very, very old template that I've used in my clinic many years ago. Now you can import the template either by text import, PDF, or fillable PDF even, so you could just upload a document here. In my case, I've just copied the text out of a Word document. This looks familiar to many people, I guess. This is how we did reports notes many years ago. Now we just let AI do its magic here, and we will see what happens. AI is essentially now reading the template, analyzing it, improving it, and create it into a new template for your notes. Okay, it's now created the template, and we are just going to click View Template here. So now it basically shows you everything that it has done here. It has created everything exactly as you've had it. The loudness levels, the comments, subjective descriptions, the prescription methods, and so on. And it's put variables in here. Now, for these prescriptive methods, this is actually not a good way of doing that. So in that case, I would basically get rid of all of that and just say we edited this variable and say what prescription was used, and then that should be fine. Okay. Now, I should say that we do not recommend using old templates and try to import old templates into a new system. However, you can do it, and we just wanted to show you how that works. Why we don't recommend doing that is essentially because AI templates and the checklist-based templates, as these were, they're really not compatible. Today we live in a new world, and in that world we really should work with new templates. The AI templates are basically made to draw out of the appointment what's important and what is not, whereas the old templates, they were more like checklist-based, where we use checklists in other ways, and there will be another video. But again, some people do like importing their own appointment notes that they had before, and that's why we have this as an option. Once you're done, you can just save the template and go ahead. And this concludes today's video. There will be a future video where we talk about generating report templates and other document templates in specific. But for this video, we wanted to just focus mostly on the appointment note templates. If there are any questions, please feel free to reach out.